Hey everyone, my name is Emma Darlene. I am a performer. I was. I'll kind of get into why I decided to stop performing and what things look like for me now. Where do I even begin? I was a performer for I don't know, between 15 to 18 years. One of those stories where I start really young as a kid, doing anything I could get my hands on. Musical theater is my jam. Once I graduated high school, I went and I worked for Disney Entertainment. Very fun. Then I moved to New York, auditioning a ton, training, doing all that stuff. There was kind of a slow lead up to my decision. I had been dealing with a lot of health issues since I moved to New York. I lived there for 3 years. Within the first 6 months, I developed a nut allergy. I have an anaphylactic reaction to nuts now, which is great because peanut butter was my favorite food. I started to gain weight. My face was breaking out. It was breaking out and it was dry all at once. Also got all these wrinkles because my skin was so dry. And then I developed extreme eczema. Pile after pile after pile of these scary health things. They were so detrimental to my self-confidence. And with that, in the performance realm came a lot of image concerns. And we all know performing and entertainment industry is about what you look like. I remember I was invited to go audition for this lead role in a new musical, a teen musical. I got feedback from my manager afterwards, copy and pasted what casting had said. One of the things they mentioned was that I look too old. Definitely cried about that. Aside from all the physical things, there's also the talent factor. All of a sudden, I was now in a much larger pool than I had ever been in before. Disney, I felt like they knew me. I knew what they wanted. I knew that I could be what they wanted. And it was easy for me to kind of maneuver my way. Coming into New York, I was like, piece that cake. I'm gonna book a Broadway show as the lead within the first 2 years. No, the last year and a half I was in New York, I got 0 callbacks. Growing up, everyone told me rejection was hard. I never really understood it because I don't think I experienced it in numbers like this consistently until I moved to New York. It wasn't that I stopped believing in myself. It was just this I don't know if I can be what they want me to be. I felt like what everyone wanted from me in New York was this contemporary belter, I feel like that's what they were casting. And that's really not what I had to give at the time. I know I'm capable of a lot. And so I'm like, okay, great. I already have this one skill. I can sing high soprano. I wanna belt better. I put in the work. I got the right teachers. It wasn't enough at the time. It felt hard to embrace what I had to give at that time because so many of the roles were not looking for that. All of those things meshed into one kind of created this frustrated version of me where I felt depressed. I was physically ill, trying so hard and seeing so little of the results that I wanted to see. It all climaxed to this one moment where I was doing a self-tape for Anya and Anastasia. And I had done a self-tape for Anya and Anastasia the year prior. That casting team gave my manager, I didn't even ask for feedback, but they gave my manager feedback. They said, I'm sorry, we're just really looking for a strong singer for this role. I'm pretty sure I cried for a couple days about that. I was devastated. I was like, cool. The whole thing I've spent my whole life doing, looking back at those tapes. And in the moment, I knew it wasn't the strongest thing that I could have done, but it still hurt to hear that and kind of be classified as a weak singer in their eyes. That was kind of a blow. Fast forward a year later, I am doing the self-tape again. Different theater. They asked for a ton of material. It was 6 scenes and 2 full songs. And I said, okay, what I've been doing has not been working. This is a role that I know I can do. I'm gonna put everything I have into this. You all probably know where the end of the story is going. Most of the time I would just limit myself to 3 or 4 times recording each thing, and then what it is what it is, and you go and you send it. But like I said, I was trying something new. I did so many takes, recorded all the material after I learned it. I sent it away to a coach to give me some feedback, re-recorded it. I think I sent it to someone else, got feedback, re-recorded it. I get to the final day that I have left to film. I have to work soon. I am so stressed. It is not sounding good, and it is not easy, and it is not fun. In between takes, I'm crying. Time is dwindling and I'm so embarrassed that I'm gonna have nothing to show for this. I'm trying to just have fun. I'm telling myself in between takes, like, okay, it's all good, no worries, like, you know, like I'm trying everything. None of it's working. I finally finish. I break down on the floor crying and I have pretty much a panic attack, running out of breath on the ground, crying so hard. My boyfriend comes in the room and he's like, are you okay? He doesn't know what to do with me. He's just like, looks so like, when I'm just like on the ground, like, I'm not a good singer. I kept saying to myself, I can't do this anymore. It's not that I don't want to. I can't do it. I have been trying and I have been trying and I have been trying. For whatever reason, it's not enough. I get the auditions where I'm not what they're looking for, but for the ones that I am and I don't do well, I can't even get a call back. And at my level and my age of performing, like that feels so embarrassing. Like it's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't. I guess I'm physically incapable. Was kind of the conclusion I came to in that moment. You know, when it just feels good to really like let yourself have it. So I was being mean to myself for sure. I had my last voice lesson. I started off every lesson, he would ask me like, how's it going? What's new? And I was just like, it's not going good. And I just kind of told him like, basically I'm so burnt out. I feel like I suck at this. I know in my head that I don't have any confidence left. And I'm just feeling like I'm floating out in space and I'm miserable. He was like, have you ever experienced life without performing? And I was kind of like, boing. No. He told me this magical thing. The most successful and happiest performers always have one foot out the door. They have a life going on outside of it. They have things that make them feel successful outside of it. They don't just have hobbies, they have other things. I was kind of like, oh shoot, like, yeah, I don't have anything. And in my head, I'm still thinking like, no, it'll never be me. I'm never gonna quit. I'm gonna get my Tony Award and I'm gonna say that I pushed through. I let that sink in. A couple days later, I went on this work trip. I have some free time to just kind of stand and think. I started playing hypothetical because I knew if I went and jumped into real life yes or no questions for myself, it would feel very scary. I approached myself very gently. I was like, Emma, hypothetically, if you were to not be a performer in New York City, what would you do? Where would you go? Immediately was like, oh, I'd move. And then I was like, oh, wow, that was surprising. I didn't know I wanted to do that badly. And then I continued on, just hypothetically, if I wasn't a performer, what would I do? I had this vision of my life all of a sudden where I'm like in overalls and I have a house and a driveway and there's a sunset and my hair is short and I'm like laughing and I'm just like at home. I just kind of knew in that moment, I've got to leave and I have to quit. I felt so much relief. I didn't realize what a big toll that was taking on me. I'm a very gut-driven person. I knew without a doubt what my gut was telling me. I haven't felt like that in a long time. And so I was like, great, I'm quitting. I'd already had it planned out by lunchtime. I was excited again for the unknown. Felt inspired again. I didn't have all this pressure on me to succeed. And that was something I was so worried about in the past when I had just dilly-dallied with the thought of like, what if I wasn't a performer? I always imagined that I would feel so embarrassed for everyone in my life that I've told and convinced that I was gonna be on Broadway. Would I feel so embarrassed that I didn't do it, I failed. And the thing is, I didn't fail. It felt just so innately known to me that like, I did not fail, like I chose myself. Ooh, it's gonna make me cry. I chose me and like happiness. And I didn't realize that pursuing the industry like that was making me unhappy. Because honestly, I was new to the industry for those years that I was in New York. I was just in Disney World, literally, the bubble. You know, succeeding, feeling great. I'm a princess. Everything's awesome. That's how I felt. I felt great, so much confidence, and you know, get to New York and it's a much different story for a lot of different reasons. And as people have asked me like, okay, well, what does life look like for you moving forward? What are you gonna do? I've been a vocal and audition coach for going on like 4 years now-ish. I love it. Aside from performing, it is like my favorite thing I've ever done. It is so fun, so rewarding. In that time period, since moving away from New York and all that hustle and bustle, I got engaged. I've been defrosting. I just keep feeling pulled back, not to New York, but to singing and performing. And I can't help myself. I'll like, you know, open up my laptop and be like, auditions near it makes me want to cry again. I feel like I'm like 13, like in my dad's office at home, you know, pulling up YouTube karaoke and singing for like 2 hours straight. I do that again. And like, I'm not worried about my neighbors hearing me or judging me or being too loud. It just gets to be fun. I don't know what things look like moving forward. I want to keep performing. I still have my equity card. I'm getting real inspired. I did buy a background to make some self-tapes if I wanted to, or even just to sing and like put them on YouTube, make a reel finally, a good one. All these things that stressed me out in New York that I put off because I was so like, just couldn't even sit with myself about where I was. Those are things I want to do now, like for fun. It just seems like everything's kind of falling into place. Everything's getting to where it needs to be. If that resonates with you, like let me know what your story is. Maybe you can inspire someone and inspire me. We're all kind of on this journey together. Come back to my page for more videos. See you guys soon. Bye.